Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is July the 22nd. The WNBA resumes today. We got 5 games on the board that we're going to break down, and we'll get ready to get up out of here, man, like always. So we'll start with a quick recap, as we always do. Try to make the show a little bit more efficient and faster today. Hit the like button for me if you can as you join. Definitely helps out the algorithm. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, as always. Let's jump into it. So right before the Wednesday, I think we had WNBA, and I went 1-2 that day, minus the unit, a little over a unit. Natasha Cloud got benched against the Liberty. Didn't play much in the second half. On the second leg of that back-to-back, she blew like 4 bunnies in the first half before getting benched. We got the best of the number at 17.5. I want to say it closed, north of like 19.5 or 20.5, because Caitlin Clark ended up being rolled out and we played it ended up being a loser. Connecticut versus Minnesota, and they just they couldn't make a three. I think they were 5 of 26, and they couldn't stop giving up threes. Minnesota shot the lights out. Connecticut ended up getting smoked in the first quarter, but luckily they covered the first half for us. So 1-2 day, I got to do a lot better, man. You can see the season record here. I'm down about 5 units, which isn't terrible, but it's nowhere near where I want to be. So we got a lot of work to do, man. Just tap in with me. We will lock in. We will get those gains back, and we'll be profitable at the end of the season. I've been here before. So let's go through the comments real quick, and then we'll jump into it for today. Gina said she went 2-2 before the All-Star break. Casting the Atlanta team total over 83.5. Asia over 21.5 points. Loss on fee over. And Indy plus 10. Cash team fee money line in the All-Star game. They absolutely smoked Caitlin Clark's team. What's up, Tony? Appreciate you for tapping in. What up, BT? Says, let's start the second half of the season with some winners, Chris. I need to, man. Good morning, Dirty Rig. Says team fee was a gift. I got that one too. What's up, Brian? He says, everyone rested. Let's find the spots. 4-point shot. Probably not long before the NBA adopts that. I hope not. Man, I hope not. Good morning, Washington. What's up, Marquise? Appreciate you for tapping in. Jason says, hate games before and after the All-Star break. Definitely playing light tonight, personally. Yeah, I agree with this sentiment. And we'll talk about this. I got some notes, actually, to share with you guys about these big, when you don't have situational spots and everybody is rested and, there's just a lot going on. It makes it hard to bet for sure. So, all right, let's jump into it. jaXon is what we'll start with. On last Wednesday, I'm trying to do a better job of keeping up with these. On last Wednesday, jaXon, like Brianna Stewart, under her 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That was an absolute loser. She smoked that line. Absolutely dominated the Indiana Fever, which they got a rematch today. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But she went over 31.5 points, rebounds, assists pretty easily. And then Alyssa Thomas was the over play, over 24.5 points and assists. That was also a loser. Alyssa Thomas shot 5 for 16, I think, from the field. And Minnesota came to play. Like the Mercury didn't come to play defensively. The Lynx kind of murked them. So 2 losers by jaXon. Today went with the same prompt, right? 2 best WNBA props, 1 over, 1 under. jaXon likes Angel Reese over her 14.5 points today at minus 120 on FanDuel. This one pretty much a no-brainer, but the analysis is this. Angel Reese has been on an absolute tear recently, consistently exceeding his point line. She's hit the over 5 straight games with an impressive 18.8 points during the stretch. Looking further back, she's cleared the line 80% of her last 10 games, averaging 17.2 this season. She's averaging 14 points per game right at the line, but her recent surge suggests she's playing above her season average. What makes this pick even more compelling is her performance against Minnesota. In their 3 matchups this season, Reese has hit the over this line in every single game, averaging 19 points against them. While the Minnesota Lynx defense is against her position ranks 9th in the league, indicating an average to slightly above average defense. Reese has dominated her recent form. Dominant recent form. And proven success against Minnesota makes this a strong play. She scored 22 points in the last meeting against the Lynx, showcasing her ability to perform against them. So take Angel Reese over her points is what jaXon likes. And then the under is actually on Chelsea Gray. I would kind of hold up on this one, just thinking out loud. But let's see. It says under 8.5 rebounds and assists at plus 100. So analysis is this. It says while Chelsea Gray has shown some strong overall performances, hitting the line in 100% of her last 5 games, averaging 9.8 rebounds and assists. and 80% of her last 10, averaging 9.5 rebounds and assists. Her historical performance against the Atlanta Dream tell a different story. In the two matchups against them last season, Reese has hit the under 100% of the time, averaging just 6.5 rebounds and assists. This trend is strongly supported by the Atlanta Dream's defensive prowess. They ranked third in the league in defense against her this combined prop, indicating that they are exceptionally strong at limiting opponents' assists and rebounds for her position. The news also highlights the Dream's defensive capabilities, particularly their ability to cause problems for the Aces, given the Dream's top-tier defense and Gray's past struggles against them. I'm confident in the under here, especially with a favorable plus 100 odds for this. And plus 100 is available on ESPN Bet, it looks like. So 1 over, 1 under. Chelsea Gray under 8.5 rebounds and assists, and then Angel Reese over her 14.5 points. So the reason why I say I would wait on Chelsea Gray is because you could potentially get an inflated number because Jackie Young is listed as questionable. But that's that. Let's jump into it for today. As always, link is in the description to check out jaXon if you guys are interested in signing up. So I wanted to start with this pre-All-Star break standings. So this is just where everybody kind of, is right now, right? As currently constructed. There's a couple of things that jumps out to me at this is that Minnesota, we knew, it's a revenge tour for Minnesota after losing to the Liberty in the championship last season. But Minnesota is on an absolute tear, 20-4 straight up. And then the craziest thing is that they haven't lost a game at home. They're the only undefeated team at home. There actually isn't a team. You can look right here in the home standard. There actually isn't a team that hasn't even lost one game. Every team has actually lost 2 games or more at home, with the Liberty being 10-2. So Minnesota's been really strong on the road at home. Their losses have all come on the road. And then you can see, some of the other things that stand out. The biggest things I took away from this is, who's hot right now, which no team really is. You can see New York has a 3-game winning streak. That's the longest in the W. And then the other thing I really looked at was the differential, right? The point differential. Minnesota's winning by almost 10 points, whereas Connecticut is losing by about 15 points per game. And then you can see all of the, I guess you could call it variance in the WNBA as far as who's winning these games by a lot of points. I guess Atlanta kind of sticks out with a plus 5.5, even though they are just 13-9 on the season. And then also for people who don't know, the top 8 teams make it to the playoffs. So I think right now the cutoff would be the Aces, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8. And the Valkyries, the Sparks, the Sky, the Wings, and the Connecticut Sun will be all on the outside looking in. So you can pause this if you want to. You can go look at it yourself. This is just a screenshot from ESPN.com, but take with that and do what you want. Let's jump into it for today. So first up, we have the Sparks and the Mystics. This line has been on the move a little bit. It opened with the Minnesota Lynx actually laying. Let me just go to my notes real quick, get them pulled up. All right, so this actually opened with the Washington Mystics laying 2.5 points. And the total open right where it is right now, 167.5. I think it started to bump up. I think I saw 166.5. It started to bump up to 167.5, and now it's kind of settled here. I don't think a lot of movement has come in on this total at all. There's a 168 out there, so a little bit of money coming in on the Mystics. And all of the numbers here are updated. These are season-long numbers, of course. We look at the injury report for the LA Sparks. I think it's just Cameron Brink, who hasn't played a game yet this season, continues to be out for the Sparks. The Washington Mystics have everybody off the injury report in this game. So a couple different things. I'll just jump right into it. The Sparks, they have a lot of ground to cover, right? I just showed you guys the screenshot. If the playoffs were to start today, they finished 10th. They're 3 games behind the Aces for the 8th spot. They really want to make it to the playoffs. The Washington Mystics currently are in 7th place, and they've kind of exceeded expectations a little bit. Nobody thought the Washington Mystics would have 3 All-Stars. 2 rookies to make the All-Star team, and Kiki Ariafin and Sonia Citron. They're 11-11 right now. They 7-3 straight up at home. They had won 4 straight games, but they've only covered 1 of their last 5 at home. So for whatever reason, you don't want to lay too many points with the Washington Mystics. And that's actually how I just kind of feel about this game. We know that the Sparks just beat the Mystics in their most recent matchup, and it was the last game that was played right before the All-Star break. 99-80. They actually smoked the Washington Mystics. And I was on the wrong side of that. I was on the Spark. I was on the Mystics, and I was on the Sparks. I was on the Mystics in that game. The Mystics they absolutely got destroyed. They ended up getting 2 points in that game. And they just couldn't stop turning the ball over. They turned the ball over left and right, and the Sparks were able to get out and run in transition. So we did see the total go up and over as well. That was 165.5. And we saw that game go over by 13.5 points, right? 99-80. So the way I kind of see this game going is I don't want to lay too many points with the Mystics at home. Like I think the bigger the line gets, the more it favors the Sparks. I know that the Mystics could potentially have revenge on their mind, but the Sparks, for whatever reason, they play better on the road than they do at home. I know that their last 2 wins have, you could say they're a little bit fluky, but I typically want the team between these two teams. I want the team that's catching points. Like I'm not laying points with the Sparks on the road, but I also don't want to lay points with the Mystics at home either. So by default, it'd be Sparks for me plus the points. If you can get a plus 3.5, I think that's the way that I would go in this game. The Mystics offense just doesn't quite do it for me. I think the Sparks present a lot of matchup issues for the Mystics as well, even though I do expect them to protect the basketball a little bit more. So that's the way I kind of think about this game. Is I want to take the Sparks if I'm playing the side. If I'm playing the total, it's difficult. It's difficult because the Sparks are over team. It's also difficult because the Mystics defense is pretty good, but their offense can really, really struggle at times. They've really, really struggled. The Sparks have actually scored 90 points in back-to-back games. They played in 4 straight overs. 5 of their last 6 games are going over the total as well. But then Washington, they got the 80 in the previous matchup and having 17 turnovers that led to 24 points for the Sparks. So I don't expect that to happen again. I don't expect the Sparks to be able to come out here and drop 99 on the Mystics, especially at home. Both of these teams combined for just 15 points as far as transition points as well, fast break points. So it's difficult as far as the total goes. I had some things on the over. First thing I looked at was these teams coming off the All-Star break. So both teams have 4 days of rest or more. It's a regular season game. And it's an over trend, right? 58% of the games go over after the All-Star break if both teams have 4+ days rest, and it's after the All-Star break. The Mystics also 3-0 to the over if they're in a revenge game this season. So I had some stuff for the over, but then I also had a couple trends that I found towards the under as well. So the biggest one being, the revenge spot, right? The Mystics just lost the games within 10 days, and now they're a favorite. That's a 57% trend to the under. And then this season, when teams are playing, seeking revenge. When teams are playing within 7 days, which this is a matchup within 7 days, and the total is higher than the previous total, but you also include that the last game went over. That's a 4-1 trend to the under as well, just a seasonal trend. So I could see a game where, the Sparks, where the Mystics want to lock in defensively, but I think if I had to play it, I would still be looking towards the over. I think the total is set exactly where it should be. It'd just be Sparks plus the points for me. As far as player props, I do want to show you guys one. Well, actually, there's a couple that I like in this game, but there's one that I favorite a little bit more than the other. And I haven't gotten to the window with this yet, but I think I will. So I will transition over really quickly. I'm going to try to be quick with this, get over to the next game. But this is Outlier, of course. There's a link in the description if you guys ever want to check Outlier out. So for this game, I like Sonia Citron. I like her 3-point shot. If you got a chance to watch her at the All-Star game, she shot the ball really, really well. This is her season-long 3-point, makes and attempts here. Well, 3-point makes. So you can see that she's over in about 55% of her games overall. That number is right here. 12 of 22 games, she's hit the over. Her minutes are, pretty consistent. She's going to get close to 30 minutes. Her 3-point attempts are also pretty consistent. So you need her to make 2 tonight. You can see that she's attempted. You can see the attempts here: 5, 4, 4, 4, 8, 7, 7, 4, 4. So I think Sonia Citron's in a really, really good spot. I don't trust the Sparks defensively at all. Citron is actually over in 6 of her last 7 games this season when she's playing against a team that ranks in the bottom half of 3-pointers allowed. And that actually includes the last game that she played against the Sparks. That's this game right here. She hit 2. She went 2 for 5, and this was a pretty poor night for Sonia Citron overall in this game. So I like Sonia Citron. The other player that I considered was Azare. Azare Stevens continues to just kind of fly underneath the radar. Her 3-point prop too, is at 1.5, and she's been absolutely crushing this line. You can see now is plus. You can see here is plus money. So we look at the full season, 1.5. You can see some of these games she's hitting 3 back-to-back games where she's hit 5 and 3. There's a game in here where she, kind of struggles. But Azare is over in 3 of her last 4 games, 6 of her last 9. You can see that these numbers here, the 3 misses being right here. And then Washington allows the 4th most threes. Azare has hit 3. She hit 3 in their last matchup, which is this game right here. So I consider Azare threes. I think she is in a pretty good spot. And Sonia Citron 3-point prop as well. Also, Azare over her just points, rebounds, and assists kind of stood out to me as well. So here we look at Azare Stevens. You can see that she's been over in back-to-back games, over in 7 of her last 9 games. So this is 23. So we just go down to 22. Actually, this was listed. I guess it's not listed anymore. But you can see here, if this is 22.5, where I got it highlighted, you can see she's over 90% of her last 10 games, 80% of her last 5 games for Azare Stevens. I think it's I think Dearica Hamby gets slowed down tonight, and I would play Azare over her points, rebounds, and assists in this spot here. All right, enough of me yapping about that, but those are 3 looks that I would have and would like to share with you guys. Sparks for me, plus the points. Sonia Citron, 3-point prop, Azare Stevens. Let's see what you guys are thinking before we jump to the next game. Scotty says, I need some locks. No such thing. You got to go to Home Depot. Wendell says, what up, Chris? We need a good ticket. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's up, sports fan? Says, why do you like Angel Reese bounce back over 30.5? Let me know what the model says. 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's got to be higher than that, right? We'll talk about that when we get to that game, though. What else should I see in this one? Angel, Brian likes the double-double as well. She's extremely aggressive offensively. Yeah, we'll talk about that game when we get there. I don't want to speed up too much. Money Meats, what up, bro? Hope all is well with you. Sports fans saying hit the like button. If you can hit the like, it definitely helps the show. Appreciate that. What up, James? Says Mystics as a favorite. Nah. I don't want the Mystics as a favorite either. Gina says she likes Rakia jaXon over her 13.5 points. That was absolutely too low for her. Rakia is so wish-washy, man. She either gonna go for 17 or she gonna go for 6. And there's really no in between with her. Mystics are a pretty good defense, though, especially I would expect them to bounce back. Jason says Brink should be back any day now. End of July is here. Could the Sparks backdoor a playoff spot? If they can learn how to play some defense, I think so. Brian asking about Kelsey Plum assists. So Kelsey Plum, so we talked about this in the last game. If you like Kelsey Plum, I would actually just take her points, rebounds, and assists. So the line's up now, right? This was 25.5, and we talked about it Tuesday? She's just been absolutely killing it. Kelsey Plum is over 20. If you can find 25.5, she's over that number in. I don't even see 25.5 available anymore, but it was 25.5, and I think she was over in like 9 of her last 10 games. We talked about this the other day, but even at 26.5, which is what I guess consensus is right now, she's over in 3 straight. She's also over in 7 of her last 8 games, 8 of her last 10 games. She's gone up and over this number. So Kelsey Plum's just been hooping, man. She's absolutely hooping. Chaz says Mystic Revenge at home, where they are 7-3 straight up. Sparks are only 5-6 straight up on the road. Has to be Sparks and nothing for me. So we disagree. We definitely disagree. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. What else am I missing? Michael says Sparks 7-4 ATS. Not sure in what way. Mark says he likes the Sparks as well. Kelsey Plum been feeling herself. She's been hooping, man. She has been hooping. Meech says Mystics got the first of 4 in 7 nights at home too. Plum over her points. What up, Doms? Under on everything today. These ladies were in Indy acting a fool downstairs. They were out there having a good time, man. They were definitely out there having a good time. So real quick, just because I want to feature it, I'll show you guys. I mean, I talked about it. I showed you the numbers. sometimes WNBA not even about playing numbers. You just go with what you feel, right? So this is some of the things that I was looking at when I said I wanted no parts of the Mystics land points. So we just go to ATS records. You can see that the Sparks first half might actually be a good look. They're 10-9-3 against the spread. If they're in the first half in general, as a road dog, they are also 4-3-1 against the number, 4-3-1 overall. And the Mystics, first half, not a good team, right? 9-13 against the number, overall 11-11. But as a home favorite, the Mystics have laid points 4 times. They have won all 4 games. They have covered one of those 4 spreads. So this is what I was talking about, right? The Mystics don't do well laying points at the crib. And I think the Sparks got enough offense. It just feels like they're finally putting it together a little bit. So it'd be Sparks plus the points for me. I just wanted to show you guys that. And there's a link in the description as well for Outlier. For Moneyballer. All right, let's jump back into it. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit because I do got to get ready to get up out of here. Next game up, we got the Sky and the Lynx. 15 is the spread right now. Last time I checked. It's actually moving to 15.5 now. Total's coming down to 159.5. So that's consensus. That is correct. I'll try to be concise on this one. So if we look at the injury report first, Angel Reese is expected to be back. I think she's off the injury report. Michelle Onyenwere is listed as out, and then Ariel Atkins also is out, and that's a big part. I think that's why the spread has ballooned. It's open at 11, and now it's all the way up to 15.5. The total, of course, has come all the way down. That's why I wanted to play. I didn't get in just because the Sparks, just because the Lynx are like a team that's really, really difficult to know. They can just win with offense or defense. That's what scared me off in this game. Chicago is 4 games out of the playoff picture at 7-15. Back-to-back losses, of course, to Minnesota right before the break, and then they got smoked by Atlanta. I think it was like their 4th time scoring under 50 points in their franchise history. This is their first road game after 4 straight home games. Minnesota, I mentioned this already, they're the only undefeated team at home. They are the best team in the W based on their numbers, as you can see on the screen here. And this is the 5th straight home game for them. So, they have a homestand that's going to consist of at least 5 straight home games, is what I'm trying to say. This is the last matchup, I think, between these 2 teams, the 4th one, if not the last. The previous 2 games went over, and the first one went under. Chicago covered the first 2 as 14.5 point and 11.5 point dogs, and both. Minnesota won and covered the last one as 11.5 point road favorites. This is the highest. It was the highest total of the 4 matchups, but without Ariel Atkins, of course, the total starts to drop, and I still probably would agree with that. I guess it's kind of weird to want to play a Minnesota game under with the way that the Chicago Sky have been playing so fast. That's the thing that really kind of scared me off in this matchup. So if you look at the pace numbers, I put them on the screen here. You can see that the Sky are 7th in pace. The Lynx are 10th in pace, which is actually a little bit faster for the Lynx. They were 12th for a big part of the season. I like this. The Lynx should win this game by 15 to 20 points. They should win. The problem is how much effort will they put in? Because the Chicago Sky are going to be able to keep it close if they go out there and they dominate the boards like they did in the first 2 games that these 2 teams played. So that's the only thing that really kind of scares me. If you like Chicago, if you like Minnesota, you probably should have got in already. I didn't want the number when it was, 13. So I definitely don't want it at 15.5, but it makes a lot of sense. The Minnesota Lynx are by far the more superior team here. As far as the total goes, I don't really want to bet the under right now. It's minus, 159.5. The Minnesota Lynx team total was something that I considered as well. I think yesterday it was 86.5. That number probably only went up. 87.5 is the number now. Chicago's team total is 71.5. That to me says, that Minnesota is going to come out here and lock up. I don't know. I think I like over a little bit more than anything else. I think even with 4 quarters, Chicago can score 72 points. I know that they're without Ariel Atkins. I know they're coming off a game where they only score 49, but I expect this to be played with a pretty fast pace. I think Chicago defensively will take a pretty big step back as well. So I guess over would be the play that I would make, but I didn't play this game. I didn't play this one at all. Let's see what you guys are thinking. I didn't even look at it from a player prop perspective either, because I guess the Angel Reese look makes a lot of sense, but I didn't play it. DJ says, "Sun's out, guns out." Bro, I just got something to do. I don't got time to change. So as soon as I finish the show, I got to run. So yeah, I'm out. I'm out as soon as I get out. Dom has got under 161 on this one, talking about this game. So he did play under. So DJ says opposite. Lynx team total over. Mark says he played minus 11.5 on Sunday. Let's see if COV actually means anything today. We shall see. Without Ariel Atkins, it's a lot of points that shouldn't be scored, but you do get injuries back, so we shall see. I thought about, I'm always thinking Chicago first half, Brian, because Minnesota is one of the worst covering ATS teams in the first half in the WNBA. So I did consider this, but I just kind of I want to get a feel for how these teams are going to come out. We haven't seen them play in almost a week, so could there be some rust? Yes. Do I want to lay points with this many points with the Minnesota Lynx at home and, after, not playing for a while? Not really, but I will tell you this. It's a funny part, right? Minnesota, they had, all of the players who went out. If you guys, got a chance to catch any of Stud Butts or, was paying attention to social media, all of the players on their team was the ones that was going out. Courtney Williams and Nafisha Collier look great. They look excellent in that game. So I'm not sure how much rust the Minnesota Lynx are going to have, but we do see them struggle specifically in the first half to knock down shots. And to put some numbers to that, the Minnesota Lynx are an abysmal 6-15-2 against the spread in the first half. 6-15-2. They just don't cover the first half. And we got the last one right. I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of want to see. I'm not sure what Chicago's offense is going to look like, but you can get a plus 8.5 right now if you like Chicago in the first half. Plus 8.5 is available though. What up, LJ? Hope all is well with you, man. So send you a message on Twitter. Lynx third quarter. Best friend to W. They've been absolutely good there for sure. Jason says, remember when they didn't have Atkins in the game before the break? No one can create their own shot on Chicago. Offense looked awful. Yeah, but they also didn't have Angel Reese either. So getting Angel Reese back should help a little bit, especially with her ability to be able to play make recently. Unique says you like Angel Reese under 12.5 boards. It's risky whether you're wrong or right. I'm never fading Reese on her boards. Yeah, I ain't doing that either. Not doing that. Chad says he got minus 11. A buyback live if you can get 17.5 or better. Okay. Appreciate you for tapping in, Fahrenheit. Dom said, Lynx were in the streets. They were, man. Courtney Williams had the city on fire. Her and Natisha Heidemann. Yeah, that I watched a lot of it. I didn't comment on any of it. I wasn't really on social media posting anything, but yeah, I was staying up to date, man. There was a lot going on. Let's move over to the next game. So we got the Fever and the Liberty. Game will still be played in New York as the last one was. This number, I think, is moving now, actually starting to get bigger. So we start with the injury report. No Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever, and the New York Liberty have everybody. So that means Jacquel Jones is back. They also they went out and signed Emma. I'm not sure how to pronounce Emma's last name. I actually need to see what it looked like, and I probably can pronounce it. But just know that if you haven't watched her play, which most people probably haven't, she is an absolute beast. I think that, outside of this game, I think that favors the New York Liberty to repeat again this season. I'm on record for saying I think the Liberty will win a championship again this year. I think with their ability to be able to weather the storm like they did without Jacquel Jones. I know that the Minnesota Lynx are the best team in the WNBA by standings, but I do think that this New York Liberty team will be able to get the job done again, especially after adding Emma. And that was, been my stance since we saw him in the first 10 games. So anyway, back to this game. No Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever. I thought that they were the right side the day before the All-Star break. What I didn't know is that the New York Liberty had a players-only meeting after losing to the Seattle Storm before they played against the Aces. And after having that meeting, they went on a 3-game winning streak. They beat the Aces, they beat the Dream, and then they smoked the Indiana Fever. This is their 6th straight home game of an 8-game homestand. I mentioned they had the best record in the W at 15-6, even with all the injuries to Jacquel Jones and the Euro basketball being played by Leonie Phoebus, who's looked really, really excellent. This team has looked really, really good. You can't, downplay what the Minnesota Lynx, what the New York Liberty have been doing. The Indiana Fever, they would finish in 6 right now if the playoffs started today. They just kind of back and forth. You just don't know what Indiana Fever team you're gonna get. They are 12-11 straight up. They've also been through their own injuries as well, and this is the last of a 3-game road trip for them. I kind of think that as much as I want to take the points with the Fever, because I think that you will get a better effort than you got from them, right before the All-Star break. Ari McDonald's not that bad. I expect Natasha Howard to be a little bit better. It's going to be difficult. I think, getting Jonquel Jones back, I expect her to be on some kind of minutes restriction, but the way they were able to slow down Aaliyah Boston in that last game, this team just has so much length and athleticism now. The New York Liberty, it's really, really difficult to want to fade the Liberty. If they come out, their shots are falling, they're playing the defense that they were playing before Jonquel Jones got hurt when they had Leone Fevers. Remember, they had like a 73.5 or something like that defensive rating. May just be a look towards the Indiana Fever team total to go under. This total's already dropping 160 down from 165 down to 163.5. A lot of that news, of course, is Caitlin Clark. But yeah, it's difficult for me to want to fade the New York Liberty, even though it's Jonquel Jones' first game back. The problem I have, the thing that's holding me up is, we kind of need to see, how the rotation is going to be played with Jonquel back and Emma being added to the team. They also added Stephanie Talbot in free agency. And the New York Liberty can absolutely let their guard down. Laying 11 points in the WNBA is scary at times, because the Liberty are a team that's just 2-5 against the spread when they're playing a team that they've already beaten this season. So this is typically what happens. They end up letting their foot up off the gas, and they'll play one good half. You have no idea who's going to, what half that's going to be, whether it's going to be first half or second half. But that's how I kind of see, the New York Liberty as a team that they could absolutely wet the bed, win this game by 7 to 8 points. But it could also absolutely blow the doors off the Indiana Fever as well. So it's a difficult game for me. I think if I had to play anything, it would be a look towards the Indiana Fever team total to go under. Right now, the best number you can get as far as team totals is 76.5 is available. It is a little juiced at -125 on Fanatics, but 75.5 is available as well. That's the way I think I would kind of want to play this one, but I'm really not interested here at all. I want to see what the Liberty look like before playing. And I want to see some consistency from the Fever too. Like, I know it's the second leg of a back-to-back, playing against Connecticut. They probably just wanted to get to the All-Star break, but I just want to see a little bit more consistency here. So I think under, and Indiana Fever team total under as well. That would be my thought process. Jarrell says Liberty team total over with Jonquel back in the lineup. Salute, Chris. Appreciate that, Jarrell. So the Liberty team total is 86.5. It looks like it's 86.5 on a couple books. 87 is look like it's consensus. They could get to 88. Absolutely, they could. We'll see. Messerman. Yeah, and they got top 2. Yeah, that's her name. This is Liberty double-digit favorites. Home favorites take the under. So real quick, I think I might have put that in my notes. Let's see, the over is 8-2 last 10 head-to-head matchups between these two teams, and I want to say a lot of them have actually gone over. So we look at the Liberty this season, home favorite. They're laying 10 points or more. They are, let's see, 5-2 to the under. I feel like I had that written down. Maybe I didn't. 5-2. Maybe I know I saw it. 5-2 to the under are the Liberty, and the total is about the average total is a 164.6. So right at where this line is, they did go over against the Fever in the last game. That's because the Fever gave up 98 points. They just really didn't want to play at all in that game. Only scored 77 in that spot as well. So we'll see, man. We shall see. It started off as a strong under trend, LJ. 4-0 to the under at the beginning. Then we saw over against the Mercury. That's because they didn't play a lot of defense. We saw under against the Sparks. That's because it was super high total, 171. And then we saw over at 163 as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know both of these teams kind of want to play fast, though. The Liberty are second in pace, I think, last 5 games. First in pace over the full season. That's always the scary part about taking the under in the Liberty game. They could, even if they go on have a terrible quarter where they score 12 points, they could absolutely light you up. It depends on how Sabrina's going to shoot the basketball. If she shoots a lot of threes, Now you have, pretty full rotation. I don't want to bet against the Liberty. Finals MVP in 2019. Yeah, I knew she was good. Dom says he took the under, leaned towards Fever plus the 11. I think with everyone coming back, there's definitely going to be an adjustment period. Yeah, I think the adjustment period gonna come on the offensive end though, Dom. I was thinking about this. I think defensively they're gonna be good. I think they got another body to throw at Aaliyah Boston with jaXon being back. I don't expect her to play as well. Aaliyah Boston, I don't. Messman, it's difficult, man. You got to stop this Liberty team too. I think I saw something that said they had a roster that was all like 6'4" or better. For the most part, I think it might be one person that's like under 6'5". But this team is so long and athletic. We'll see how hard they play though. DJ says, I just placed the future 2 days ago in New York to win the chip at plus 180. I like that. I might add that as well. Scott says he likes the over. Wouldn't be shocked if they shut Caitlin down for the year. Damn, I did not see that, Don. Okay. I got to read a little bit more. Scott says good pace. Liberty defense sucks. Over. So I think you see a little bit more defense today with jaXon back. Greg says like Aaliyah Boston assist without Caitlin Clark. Coach said she wants her in the Jokic role. Okay. What up, TC Bet? Says it's been a minute, but I'm on Aaliyah Boston under 13.5 points today. No Caitlin Clark, and she does typically go under. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. She looked like a shell of herself at times. Even in the game against the Connecticut Sun the night before. So let's just go look at that real quick because this kind of stands out to me. I like this look, TC. So I had her name in already. All right, so Aaliyah Boston, we look at her points specifically. Let's see. Points listed at 13.5. So you can see that she has struggled in the last 2 games here. 3 of the last 5, she stayed under the number as well. So I like to look at the full season first. So she is right at 50% on the season, averaging 15.4. Then I like to go in here, check and see if home roads mean anything for her success. So she is, okay. So she plays a lot better at home. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys can't see that. Okay, here we go. So you can see she plays a lot better at home. So this was her full season, 50%, right? 12 for 24 over under. If we factor in just a road game, she's really struggled. Four games she's gone over, all came here. But she started the season off with 4 unders and then 3 more unders here as well. If we look at the head-to-head matchup, she struggled in her career in general. So these are the games from this season, 1, 2, 3. This 27-point game came at home when they upset when the Liberty barely won. Then she had a 10 and a 7-point game against the Liberty as well. In this last game, she just had 7. So 3 games this season, 2 unders, 1 over. And also I wanted to see if we could zoom back out, right? So these are the 24 games she's played so far. If we go in here and look at games played without Caitlin Clark, 4-11 to the under. This is a really good bet, I think, TC. I like this a lot. I'm actually going to add this to my short list as well. Aaliyah Boston under her points makes a lot of sense. So we do the show. And for people who, I didn't really explain this, but I just said she's 50% over, right? So without Caitlin Clark in, she's 36% over, which is 64% to the under without Caitlin Clark. And if we look at the games that she's played on the road without Caitlin Clark, it gets even stronger. This is why you use things like Outlier to help handicap, right? That's what you're looking for. Something that's hitting at an 83% hit rate. Leah Boston under her points prop today. She's only gone over in 1 game on the road without Caitlin Clark, and that was against the Dallas Wings, a much worse defensive team. I like this a lot. Probably gonna add this. Good look here from TC. I like this a lot. And jaXon Jones being back and Emma being there, and yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. All right, cool. Let's go back. Let's see if we can get through these last few games in about 10 minutes. All right, let's see. So that was. Ryan says 11.5 is difficult, but you're right. I bet we get a good effort. I don't trust what the Fever team will show up Which favorite team will show up? Liberty team total over probably. The thing about the Liberty offense is that it's predicated on their defense. If they getting stops, they getting out of transition, they're running. We already know that they're first in pace, and they could absolutely start knocking down some threes. And then next thing you know, they close to 100 points. Let's see. All right, that's enough. We did a good job here. We got 2 more games to get to. Next one is the Wings and the Storm, right? So this line open right at 9, I think. And I think there's some money coming in. I saw it all the way up. So you can get an 8.5, a 9.5, and 9s. So it's really just what you want to bet. As far as total goes, I see 163. I see a 164.5. I see a 165.5. So, I mean, this is kind of all over the place. We start with the injury report. We have Dejanay Carrington listed as probable. I think she's supposed to return today. And then Misha Hines-Allen also is on the report as well. I feel like she's been kind of I wouldn't say played out of the rotation, but her minutes have been a lot more limited. She's listed as questionable due to a lower right leg injury. And then last but not least, Maddie Siegrist continues to be out. Seattle should have everybody in this game. So I'll be quick with this one. Dallas is the second worst team in the W. They're 6-17, still just 4 games behind the Aces. That's how bad the WNBA has been as far as teams separating themselves. 4 games behind the Aces. They've lost 4 straight, have the Dallas Wings. Seattle is the 4th best team in the WNBA, but they do only have a point differential of about 2.8. And I showed you guys that on the first graphic that I showed. Dallas is only a -5 in point differential. Seattle has alternated wins and losses for 5 straight games. They're only 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games. They played 3 straight unders. The offenses look pretty bad, and this is their 4th straight home game. As far as spot-wise, Seattle has beaten Dallas 6 straight times. This is the 3rd matchup this season. Both of the first 2 games went under the total of 167.5 and 166. They played in 4 straight unders overall in the head-to-head matchup dating back to last season. And the Storm, they're just 1-4 against the spread when they're laying 5 points or more at home this season. I know it's really, really tough. This is one of those ones, in my opinion, where you hold your nose and you just take the Dallas Wings to cover the line. I think 9.5 is too many points. You can get 9.5 if you got BetMGM. That's the way I want to play this one. It will be either Dallas plus the points or Seattle, Dallas plus the points or Dallas team total over. Last night, Dallas team total was 77.5. I think that number is pretty soft. Dallas is actually 8-4 to the over on their team total in road games this season. They average just slightly below 84 points. And they can't stop a nosebleed. Even with the Aces in the last game, that total opened 172.5. It came down, I think, as low as 169.5, and it still ended up going over 176, I think. So this Dallas Wings team is a team that wants to play fast. If they're on the road, I'm not trusting the defense at all, and they're on the road in this game. So if we just take a quick look, they're 8-4 to the over in road games in general as well. So this is a tough one not to play the over. I think if Seattle's offense is ever going to get right, it would be this game against the Dallas Wings. But historically, they have gone under for whatever reason, maybe just a matchup thing. If we look at the Wings on the road this season, they are giving up an average of 90 points. They just gave up 102 to the Fever. They gave up 87 to the Sky, 102 to the Mercury, 91 to the Mystics, 83 to the Sun, 88 to the Aces, 93 to the Mercury, 83 to the Storm, 97 against the Sky. So that's pretty much every single road game except the first 3. So, I guess it's over or nothing for me here. These games are averaging 173 points. And like I said, I know the Storm's offense has struggled recently, but I feel like they should be able to score the basketball in this game. Storm are 6-6 to the over-under at home. They also want to play fast. The Wings only want to play fast. Storm have gone under in 3 straight home games, but those were against slower-paced teams that do play defense, like the Sun, the Mystics, and the Valkyrie in their last 3 games. So over in this spot, or just the Dallas Wings team total over, or a Seattle or a Dallas plus the points plus 9.5 is available on BetMGM. Bet365. That's the ways that I'm looking in this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Doms likes the Wings plus 9.5. DJ says, I'm back in Seattle team total over 86.5. Dallas defense is not consistent at all. I agree. Me and Chad agree. Says, yep, plus the 9.5. JW says, Wings first quarter. Seattle starts extremely slow. They do, man. I don't know what Seattle be doing in Seattle, bro. Fade King says, does highest seed play lowest seed in the playoffs? Yes, right? Yeah. That's how it goes, Fade King. Yep. Dallas Wings come out first quarter strong. Mark, I was writing the same sentence, same thing when they fade. Okay. Relay here. From Shahika, I think is how you pronounce that. Shahika Smith. She like Azare to get 2. Sabrina, I think that's Sabrina, 3, and then Erica Willer to hit 2. Okay. Yeah, I do this at the end, OG. If you're new to the show, I always go back through and talk about everything I talked about. Let's see. Paige over 17.5 points. Chris, what does the model say? She's been cashing it. Yeah, I wouldn't play her under. I wouldn't play Paige under. Paige, yeah, I just wouldn't play Paige under. I feel like she's been the person that's definitely been getting hers. Even with Arike coming back, I think Arike is under in both games. We faded Arike 2 games ago. I didn't fade her in the last game, but even with Arike back, I think Paige continues to go over, in my opinion. She got a pretty good matchup. The Dallas Wings the Seattle Storm are allowing not even allowing. They're not a good team against the pick and roll ball handler. They are giving up the 3rd most points against the pick and roll ball handler. And Paige is an absolute assassin from the mid range. So yeah, I would be playing Paige over. She only played 1 time against them so far this season. She had 19 points in that game. Granted, it was at home. But yeah, and Enrique just continues to struggle, man. She's under. She had a 9-point game on 3 for 12 shooting in the last game, and then in that Fever game when we faded her first game back, she went 0 for 10. So yeah, be over or nothing. Not a fan of the Storm's coach. She's the problem. Dom says, I like Noelle Quinn as a person, but she's so soft-spoken. She's like, we need to get back on defense, and it's absolutely unacceptable. Like, I'm just like, bro, you got to put your foot down, man. It ain't working like that. Anyway, last game on the board is the Aces in the Dream. This is a very, very difficult game to really kind of tell you guys anything about, and it's primarily because of the injury report. So the Aces could potentially be without Jackie Young today. She injury report came out last night. She's listed as questionable due to a left hip injury. Didn't slow down in the All-Star game. She was out there. Ryan Howard, of course, I think she's supposed to miss the rest of July. So we'll see what that ends up meaning for the Atlanta Dream. They've only played 1 game without her so far, and in that game, they were playing against the Chicago Sky right before the break. They absolutely destroyed Chicago Sky. Didn't even need her. I think I want to bet Atlanta plus the points in this game. I know that they are without Ryan Howard. I know her defense means a lot, but it's not even that they add Maya Caldwell, because I'm not a big fan of Maya Caldwell, taking her spot. But I think Pow off the bench, I think is excellent. I think she has the highest 3-point percentage in the WNBA. I just like what Atlanta can do. I think they can get more stops. I don't want to play the Aces at home, where they are. I think just what did I write down in my notes? I think they're 3-7 against the number. Atlanta is the 5th best team in the W, 3rd best in point differential, 4th straight road game for them. The Aces are just, that's what it is. 3-7 against the spread at home. Aces are currently in the final playoff spot. They sit just 11-11 after winning back-to-back games before the All-Star break versus the Golden State Valkyries and the Dallas Wings. Back-to-back overs as well, but both of those games hitting 175 plus points. So either Atlanta team total over, in my opinion, here, because the Aces offenses look good. But if Jackie Young doesn't play, Atlanta's Aces, I'm not sure how they're going to be able to score the basketball here. I know they got Asia Wilson. I don't trust Chelsea Gray as much anymore. Jewel Lloyd seems like she's kind of putting it together, but she's still not Jewel Lloyd from Seattle. So my thought process is Atlanta plus the points. If they open at 2, it's down to 1. But you kind of want to see what happens with Jackie Young. And if you like Atlanta, I still would like Atlanta. And then I think that's when you take Atlanta, because you'll get a better number. But if Jackie Young is ruled out, you're going to get the worst of the number. So this really just kind of depends on you and how you want to play it. That's my thought process on this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Caught the live total. Aces meltdown last game was horrible. I think they had a 24-point lead in the 4th quarter. But they are back at home, Mark, where they have played a little bit better recently. But without Jackie Young, I don't really want anything to do with this team. I think so. If Jackie Young doesn't play, I think you just play Asia over her points, right? Because they're gonna have to, I don't think they're gonna double her. I think she's gonna have to get busy. I think Bree Jones or Brittany Griner, I think she absolutely cooks either one of them. Neither one of them can move their feet fast enough to stay in front of Asia Wilson, in my in my opinion. So Aces, let's see, they're 3-7 against the spread at home. They actually failed to cover their last 2 games as well. They didn't cover against the Mystics. They were laying 7 points, lost that game outright. And then the game against the Valkyries, the game that Asia came back, they did win that game 104-102, but they ended up laying 5 points in that spot. They won the game by 2. I think, who was it? It was Kayla Thornton who hit that 3 in the right corner to seal the cover. I mean, still would have been a push, but they seal the cover in that game. So, yeah, I think when I look at the Dream, like I said, they're just a much better defensive team. There's much more cohesion for me as well. So without Jackie Young, it's definitely Dream or nothing for me in this spot. Dream are also just 5-6 straight up on the road, but they are +3 in point differential. And yeah, I would rank the Dream a little bit higher than the Aces. I mean, they are better than the Aces right now. Without Jackie, it's going to be a struggle here. So that's my thought process there. DJ says, it seems like every time an Aces player is questionable but ends up playing, they go off in that game. Says, I'm playing Jackie, taking the 20+ points at +310. It's interesting you said that because I think I added it to the short list. Jackie Young points like 14.5. I think it's definitely a play on Jackie if she does play. If she's playing, then I think she's good enough to be out there. I would play her points prop over for sure. Algina says she likes Asia over her points. I like that look as well. That would be something I would play, especially if Jackie Young doesn't play. Canada over her points. I was looking at JW. I was looking at Canada over her assists. The number is a little bit too high for me at 7.5 though. But I was looking at Jordan Canada on her assist prop today. Don't think I'm gonna play it though. Dirty Ray says going under on Enrique, -162 at 15.5 parlay piece. I could definitely see that as well. Yeah, be Asia over. And the other thing we gotta remember though is, and I talked about this in the last game. I didn't bet it. It's one of the things that I just haven't been betting. We didn't talk about in the last game either. So it's 2 player props that just kind of stick to me in my head that I really like a lot. The first one, going back to that last game, is Gabby. Nobody mentioned Gabby Williams, 22.5. She continues to crush that number against the Dallas Wings. I don't think anybody's out there gonna stop her. The other one is Jackie Young, right? So if Jackie does play, I know we just talked about her points over 14.5, but Jackie Young over her rebounds and assist prop. For whatever reason, they still got it at 7.5. It's still plus money. Jackie has been crushing this number. She's over in 5 straight games. She's over in, matter of fact, let's just put it like this. She's over in 15 of her last 20 games, 35% hit rate. And if you take away the last 5 games, she's over in 14 of 15 games. 14 of 15 games. The only game she didn't was the game that they got smoked by the Indiana Fever. And she didn't play the second. Well, she didn't play a lot in that fourth quarter because they lost the game by 27. Outside of that, she's going over in 14 of her 14 games straight at 7.5 rebounds and assists. So if she does play, that's also something that I like. Jazz says she got +2.5. I like it. Chelsea Gray 15 points and assists -130 for Marshall. She's a 7-9 in home games to that line. Okay. Gray over 5.5 rebounds. Let us know what the model says. I don't know what the model says, sports fan, but I do like this. I think the Aces on a great rebounding team, even though I do expect them to get better with the pieces that they added. But I think Alicia Gray gonna have to go in there and grab some of those rebounds that Ryan Howard typically grabs. So this makes sense to me, taking her over 5.5. What up, Helms? Appreciate you for tapping in. Asia to lead this game in scoring, -130 for Meach. I like that as well. Gray just putting the rebounds and assists together for Jamarcus. I like that. Over 8.5. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a ton of sense. All right, let's go through and go backwards to a quick recap. Sonia Citron, I talked about this in that first game, over her 1.5 3-point prop. I really, really like that. Probably going to be on my card today. I would only take the Sparks. Like I said, I think I don't want to lay points with the Mystics at home. I don't want to lay points with the Mystics in general. I think they've over exceeded expectations a little bit. But that's my thought process on that game. Those two would be the ways that I would play. Also, I talked about Azurá Stevens. If you listen from the beginning, she's in a really good spot that will go over her 1.5 threes and her points, rebounds, and assists at 22.5. Dallas plus the points. Asia over 23.5 points. If Jackie Young doesn't play, if Jackie Young does play, over her 7.5 rebounds and assists. And then I think I forgot to add potential Dallas Wings team total over 75.5. And Atlanta plus the 1. I think I would play Atlanta plus the 1. I don't want the Aces laying points at home against the team in Atlanta that I think is a little bit better. So if I like the Aces, I just bet on Asia. I feel like I'm missing something, but we'll just leave it here. Again, I haven't played anything. First day after the All-Star break is a game a day. Typically, we see a lot of overs, and typically, I typically just kind of chill and just see what happens. And then as we get more data, I'll start having some plays. Aaliyah Boston under. Shout out to TC. I think this is a really good one. Aaliyah Boston under her 13.5 points as well. That's not even my play. I did the research on it, but I put TC beside it because he kind of shouted that one out in the chat. She's only over in one of her 7 games. I think it was 1 of 7, 1 of 6 in road games without Caitlin Clark. And if the Liberty play defense like they're capable of, they can absolutely slow down Aaliyah Boston again. She just had a 7-point game against them in the last one. So that's my thought process on the games, man. Whatever I play, there's a link in the description where you guys can find all the plays if you want them. Resources, as always, are here. jaXon, Outlier, Moneyballer, Odds Jam. If you joined late, go back to the top. Check out what jaXon likes for today. And that'll be it, man. Do me a favor, hit the like button, put me on the way out. Subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on so you know when I go live if you're into that type of thing. And best of luck on your action, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one.